Yo, people, what we saying? What we spraying? Back again with another stream, you get me? And I want all of you to remember, yeah. I said in the morning stream that because I didn't do 2 streams yesterday, y'all gonna get 3 streams today. And it's the 3rd stream. Man of my word, you know the thing in it. So I thought, you know what? Gooners, we're going through a lot this season. We're going through a lot, Gooners, a lot. We're going through a lot in it. And I thought, what better than to make a new show, Arsenal therapy session. Because you get me, we need to talk it out. We actually need to talk it out. So look, every Wednesday, 9:45, we are going to be running the Arsenal therapy session, and I'm going to be bringing on all different types of Gooners. You might see some of the same faces, you might see different faces, but the thing that they will all have in common is they support Arsenal, and we will chop it up in it. But before I start bringing on some of the people, just make sure you're liking the stream, because obviously we need to get as many Shinobis, into the village as possible. You get me? You see the ninja thing? We need bare ninjas up in here. You get me? Make sure, you're subscribing to the village. We got a lot to build over here. And we can only build, if we have more people. You get me? We can only grow the village and expand the village with more people. You know the Clash of Clans thing? You only grow with more people. You get me? And then, finally, no excuses. They're all part of the village. Their channels are in the title. Their channels are in the description. And their channels are pinned, to the chat. So you have no excuse. No excuses. There can be none to go and subscribe to their channels, innit? Because obviously we all grow together. Yeah, we all grow together. The only thing I'm going to need y'all to do, is whenever you see him on the channel, just cuss him. Cuss him until he makes his channel, because his channel is not made yet, and we will bring him through first. Just so you get me. Go wait. You know what? Wait. Explain to the people why you're being a.
Well, soon come, guys. I just need to fix the setup a little bit more, and then man, maybe a channel will arise soon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Solo Leveling. If you know, you know.
We all waiting for it, team, man. We're all waiting for the T stands for Turkish channel. You get me, obviously. And the next fraud, So I sent this guy a message, man. Obviously, Mr. Famous, Mr. If my name was Hooksisha, or Hookzella, or Hooksara, or something like that, he probably would have responded to me right away. But he didn't, so he couldn't make it into the thumbnail. But he made it into the title. My brother, Matt from Back to the Dead podcast.
Hey, allow me. You listen, you're giving people the wrong impression, Hooks, Hey, stop that. That TKA. I'm on a humble thing. Listen, guys, don't listen to Hooks, I don't know where he gets it from. I'm just a calm Arsenal fan, just here chilling. Look, just relaxing. Bruv. The worst part is I'm drinking my water listening. I was like, oh, here we go. We say you look good, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, chill, bro. Thank God the international break is here, so we can have a little bit of rest. But man, I'm chilling, bro. This was needed,
Definitely.
100%, man. Obviously, big up everyone in the chat. I guess while we're waiting for, so just let everybody know, T.J. Warren is not going to be here until 10 o'clock. And Jus D, he's just finishing up on Mont's podcast. So hopefully once he's done there, he will slide right through. Big up everyone inside already. Hyper, you done know the thing. Big up, bro. Each and every time. Big up Luca Talks Ball. Big up Danny Alley. Hey, Oregon Green, man,
Big up now.
Big up now, man. Each and every time. Big up Ghost, you done know. Ben White out. It's crazy. I know y'all seen 8 weeks. It's crazy. A lot of people, well, some people are saying that he had the surgery because we know that Calafiori and Tomiyasu will be back after the international break. So, you know, I don't know if that's true, but if that's true, then I'll put the gun away in it. Because that makes sense in it. I'll put the gun away. That makes sense in it. But with Arsenal, you never know. With Arsenal, you actually never know. So, but we'll see, man. Big up Arteta out, Inzaghi in. You know the thing. You get me. Big up Tway. Coming like BSB therapy. So I can't lie, yeah. The Liverpool therapy session was an inspiration in it. I was like, raw. What is there any Arsenal man that are doing it? And I was like, no, I don't think there is, you know. All right, let's be the first. You know, they want let's be the first. Let's capitalize. You know, them right there. Big up Coley. And look, Coley FC sub done. Just so get me, if Coley FC can sub to the brothers, then make sure you are as well. Look at this fraud. I actually asked him, yo, what are you saying? You free at X? He said, oh, I'm on holiday. And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, I wish I had that many zeros in my bank balance in it. And obviously, everybody that's just came through BSB rate, obviously, big up big six bands each and every time. You know, one of the main reasons why so many people know me right now is because of big six bands in it. So we show once and all the people over there love each and every time. And you get me, my brother, yeah, Mister, you get me, Arteta on the back of the shirt, yeah, you get me. Trust me, my doggy, you get me, Jus D, pull up. We saying, bro.
Brother, you know, my general, you get me. Just recovering from yesterday from my little outing up there, mixing and blending with the superstars, you get me. So
I was so pissed I couldn't come, man. I was so pissed, bro.
Nah, it was a good evening. It's a good evening still.
Nah,
definitely a good evening.
It looked real good, man.
It was yeah, bro. And
I wish I'd vlogged though, man.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that you get me Soups caught like some video like over there. Cause I know he was taking photos, but I don't know if he was doing videos. But like that was a link up still. That was a mad link up still. And you know what? Yeah, it's not Arsenal related, but yo, did you man see, brother? It's sniffing the lines, bro.
No
madness. Yeah,
I ain't seen that.
You didn't see it? The video of
they come out today then?
Yeah.
I ain't seen it.
Yo, it is absolutely crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy. He's finished, but this is what we need. We need this because now I can call for the Inquisition, yeah, into the PGMOL. You know what I mean? Bro, swear down. Mad. Being Rainbow is crazy. It's crazy. David Coote is definitely a linesman now. Everyone passes out their job.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I'm going to do a bit of a rewind, yeah, because now there's 75 people in the building and they definitely didn't all hear it. Yo, by the way, like the video, as many likes as possible, as early as possible otherwise I'll go into my north side energy and draw for the slipper. Man can do it as well. You get me? Make sure you're subscribing and joining the village. Yeah, hidden in the north. We need hella Shinobis in here to do what we need to do. And make sure, yeah, zero excuses. Go and sub to the brothers them. Their channels are in the title. Their channels are in the description. And their channels are tagged to the stream. Pinned message, zero excuses. You get me? Coley FC did it. You man can do it. So cool. So look, obviously, you know, I thought, obviously we can talk about a few things in it, but I think kind of what I want to kind of at least revolve it mainly around is what do we think Arsenal can achieve? You know, obviously everything considered, the current state of play, all of them thing there. And I know in the StreamYard it says something different, but the YouTube thing, what Arteta needs to change in it. You get me? And we got the famous brother from America. Yeah, straight from America. Yeah, repping the Kansas City Cat. Man like T.J Warren. What you saying, my bro? What you saying?
Bro, being called famous by you is ridiculous. Bro is posting pictures with him and troops just on the street, just hanging out, and he's trying to tell me, oh yeah, no, dude, you're famous, whatever, bro. The only thing I'm going to take credit for is actually convincing you to do these streams. So I'm happy to be on here, and yeah, I need a good old therapy session. So let's get it. Big up TK, big up Matt, big up D every time, guys.
Big up,
What's
bro.
up?
Yeah, man. See, a lot of people don't know this. Yeah, there was actually T.J. Warren that pushed me over the edge and said, "Hey, man, do the streams. What are you not streaming for, man?" But you know what? Yeah, well, we won't talk about my man, certain Arsenal fan that don't do his own streaming. That's kind of where it all started. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you get me. And then obviously we pushed the boat out, and I was like, you know what? It's time to become the captain now. And I started jumping on this streaming thing. But look, yeah, so I've got what Arteta needs to change, because, like, look, I've been doing a lot of reflecting in it on the type of like Arsenal content creator I want to be in it, yeah. And I think the Arteta in, Arteta out conversation is a very I don't know, to me it's kind of boring, isn't it? Like whatever, like obviously you're always gonna have people having their different opinions, but because regardless of like whatever anyone on this panel or even in the world thinks, yeah, none of us actually have the power to make a decision either way, in it. So I kind of find it a bit of a mute kind of conversation. But I do think that talking about what he needs to do to change things up, yeah, to I guess allow us to be a bit more successful, is a far more constructive and productive conversation, innit? And I saw something, yeah, just literally just before I went live, yeah, and I thought, oh, it's kind of interesting, yeah. And I guess we'll start here so I can kind of get each of your thoughts on it, yeah. So let me share my screen quickly. So, boom, yeah. Mikel Arteta wants to have a number of different options at 6. He wants to be able to pick from a pure passer, another who is physical, and one who is press resistant. With that, Arteta would be able to reconfigure his midfield for any given game. So basically, yeah, does this mean that he wants 3 DMs? He wants 3 6s? Are we currently seeing this with Marino, Rice, and Partey? Because I would say Partey is probably the pure passer. Declan Rice is probably the physical one. And Marino is probably the press resistant one. So has he got this? And how are we gonna start seeing him kind of implementing this?
No one's going now. Hey, now you know what though?
So
I don't know
it's a
about
loaded
you lot,
question.
but
I'll let Matt go first.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, I feel like because of what's going on in the reports, I'm gonna say TP5, not going by his name at the moment. He's had a great start to the season. But we saw in that Chelsea game what Rice would have given you had he, because there was that gap when Neto scored. And I just feel like if Rice was there, that wouldn't have been, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like we're doing too much chopping and change. I just think Rice is the 6. But then the problem is he's going to want to fit Moreno in. So there's going to have to be Rice, Moreno, Odegaard. But Partey has had a great start. So that's the tricky part, man. And this whole thing of how he wants to play all these different formations, that's what's making it difficult. But listen, people can say what they want about Rice, whether he looks tired or whatever, but Rice is very important to how we play. And in big games, a fit and fully fledged Rice is phenomenal. Like, look, we remember what he brought us when he first come. And them tackles, he does that tackle where he kind of gets the ball without, like how Kante used to do. So he's essential to us, man. But at the moment, like when we're losing, we pick at all these players. We're like, oh, that player. They're all low on confidence at the moment. I watched a team that didn't really want to get on the ball too tough. You know what I mean? We missed a chance at the end, and this person arguing that person. It will get better, yeah? But Rice, Moreno, Odegaard, for me, has to be our midfield. And then if you want, see out a game, Partey, yeah, come on, Rice, you're off, last 15, 20, do your thing. You know what I mean? And that's how we have to play it. We need to stop overthinking it, man. Like, what's so frustrating is that you look when our 11 is fit, because we're not, our left side is struggling at the moment. Tomiyasu, Zini, Calafiori. Like, no, I don't think there's any other team where you've lost 3 players that you could have in that one position, and we're struggling. I'm trying not to make excuses, but we are struggling. Then ahead of that, We don't know what we're doing in the LCM. And then ahead of that, left wing, Martinelli ain't been the best. So literally, it's you know, like if you had a person, would be literally bopping like that. You know what I mean? Just one side, like low. So it will get better. It will get better. We need to just stop panicking as answer. All this PTSD we suffer from. This is why we do therapy. And this is why I'm here. Because I need you lot to de-stress me from what irritates me about Arsenal. And I'm here to do the same for you lot.
I don't know if I'm going to be the right person to help you out with this. I think I'm just going to.
Yeah,
I just think
I wanted to say the same thing with Lavro.
I just think I'm going to vent my frustrations around the fact that we still don't have a line breaking box to box 8, whether that be on the left or whether that be on the right. It doesn't matter. We still don't have it, right? Like this is something that I wish, like looking back, because I was so happy to see Granit Xhaka go. Like 1 year out of the 7 that he was here, he performed, right? And he was able to go to Leverkusen and really have his career take off late. But for Arsenal, he really wasn't a needle mover. But you see what he brought to the team now that he's gone, and that's the biggest problem. And that's what we didn't replace when he left, was that guy who could break the lines and pass the ball vertically. And look, like for all of Granit Xhaka's faults, he was very, very good at that. And I don't think we've adequately replaced that. Don't get me wrong. Declan Rice can run the ball up, but he's not very good at passing the ball vertically. Thomas Partey can get in a good pass once in a while, but it's not consistent. Jorginho can get a ball over the top to a Saka or to an Odegaard or to a Havertz, but you only see that one in 100 times he passes the ball, or more. You know, so that's really the frustrating part with me, is that we don't have anybody that can create outside of Odegaard from the middle of the pitch or our third of the pitch, and that's really where I see us lacking. I mean, do I think Marino has the ability to do it? Not as much as I think Rice does, but Rice isn't that profile of player, and we shouldn't be giving him or putting the onus on him to fill that role. This is a role that we should have filled after Xhaka left, and we failed to do that. And Vieira was never going to be that guy. I think we did have that guy in ESR, but he didn't fit into Arteta's plans. I mean, if we're going to talk about the midfield, yeah, we can talk about our lack of a backup to Odegaard. That's obviously glaring. But the fact that we don't have a box-to-box 8 that can break lines is really where I think our offensive output has stalled. And you know, I'm looking for answers here, guys. Like I'm out here looking for religion, looking for answers, looking for purpose.
Just quick one.
Guys, Matt, I'm looking for something to believe in. Give me something to believe in.
Just a quick one. I don't know about you guys. All of us have a belief of what we think we need and what position. The biggest thing for me, I feel we lack a winger, like a prop left winger, where it's like that winger where you can get the ball, get at the fullback. I just think Martinelli's so predictable. Hooks, you spoke about the other day. We know what Martinelli, head down. Like, I feel like we need that winger that, you know, we need that winger where it's like, step over, I'm gone. I maybe pop a shot. You know what I mean? Like, you look at Liverpool with Diaz. We can say what we want about Diaz, but Diaz, bruv, you have that game against Liverpool. Was it a hat-trick or a double? And just do his thing. We don't have that. Everything's going to Saka, and he's got 3 men around him. They're like, you know what? Forget the guy in the left wing. He's cool. He keeps his head down. We'll stop him. And I think that's where we lack. Because Arteta could have easily put in Ethan Nwaneri, you know what I mean, to cover for Odegaard, because he's the only one that can do similar. And I said this Jus D, I think I mentioned when you were on the other day, I said he can, he's the only one. There's no one else in that team that can do what Ethan Nwaneri and Odegaard would do.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what I thought with that in regards to that? Like when you said we're looking at what Arteta needs and like what we do as fans, we've got to basically, can I see what you're trying to do? Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we want. That's basically how we kind of decide whether or not it makes sense or not, isn't it? Because so with certain positions and stuff, there's certain positions I can see what he's trying to do. We have a Zinchenko, we're playing inverted role, but we know that he's got deficiencies in defending. So we go and get a Calafiori that can kind of do a similar thing, but he's a lot better defensively. I can understand that move. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense to me. You get Timber, obviously Timber's out for the whole season, but you know that we need another version of a Ben White that can also play defensively and inverted, like multiple positions. So it makes sense to get a Timber for me. The only one that I didn't really understand, because we had a choice to make whether we were going to keep Rice in the 8 and play Partey 6, but we knew Partey can't last we can't rely on Party. So the choice that we had to make was either move Rice to the 6 and get a number 8. Now, in that choice, you got to make a decision whether the 8 you get is going to be like, I don't know, like a small diminutive player that can control, you know, like maybe like a Pedri or one of those type of guys. Are you going to go like that? Or you're going to go with a Ranieri type 8? But he decided to go with a bulldozing 8 in Marino, which is exactly the same profile as Xhaka. That's the only thing for me that was a bit more irritating. Like, I like to see, do I know what you're trying to do? And with Marino, I feel like we already had Xhaka. And not only did we have Xhaka, we already had a Xhaka that was already in tune with the team, was already captain material, was already part of our squad for years. Like, what's the point of us building up Xhaka to get experience? And when he plays well, we let him go. How does that make any sense? That doesn't make sense to me. You're going to now bringing in a player that has to adjust, that has to now learn new things. He might even be homesick for all we know. So that's the only thing about, do I understand what you're trying to do? But I feel like we potentially could have gone and said, you know what, in this 8 position, Rice in the 6, in this 8 position, because Partey should be our version of Jorginho.
Facts.
That's what it is. That's how it needs to go. You need to have now your pecking order now goes to the next one. And I know Partey's playing well, but that's now Jorginho, and then Jorginho becomes El Neni. Do you know what I mean? Like in that type of order, like that. So I feel like the 8 position was where we should have really gone and said, yo, let's really dig an 8 and get serious.
I mean,
Exactly.
and like and this is what has me second guessing Arteta is like, now that you see that we're missing that 8 and we're missing that that box to box, because ESR could have fit that role. He also could have backed up Odegaard, right? And I'm not trying to go back and you know, hindsight 2020 it here, but we wouldn't be having this conversation right now if we didn't ship off ESR to Fulham. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I do feel like
guarantee
with ESR, I feel like we had. I still want better than ESR. That's the facts of it. But I still feel like ESR, we've had him for long enough, and he was injured all the time. I mean, I didn't really want to I don't want to be putting hopes on that. I feel
is there somebody available though? That availability.
Eze's better than Eze was there. That's a lot better.
But was Eze ever realistically coming here? I'm talking about like realistic options.
No, but I think with
Eze's a realistic option. You don't think Eze's a realistic option? Why is that? Why you say that?
You know, let's be real, guys. We could have went for Eze this transfer window, but we, as we can see on this, if we look at this tweet, this tweet reminds me of when we bought Calafiori, when we actually needed forward players. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it almost feels like these guys don't have their priorities straight and try to fix places where we don't actually need fixing. You know what I'm saying? And instead of going out there and, like Matt said, buying wingers, or what TJ said, buying like the box-to-box 8s, we focus on places that we actually don't need to focus on. If I'm real, and and this news, you know what this news makes me think of? I genuinely think these guys want to buy a number 6 now. They want to, for example, they're gonna sell Partey and try to focus on bringing in a new number 6 at this club. You know what I'm saying? So this news is not only for the current midfield that we have right now, but it almost tells us that maybe we could possibly go for maybe a Zubimendi, for example.
I don't think Zubimendi's ever going to leave Sociedad. I read online that he has like some sort of weird loyalty. Yeah, no, I get you, but like, but everybody's throwing out Zubimendi, and like even Liverpool is, oh yeah, we're gonna go get him in winter. No, you're not. Yeah. He's not leaving the league.
It almost is like a kind of, oh, I know what this club is capable of, and instead of buying a striker and a winger that we actually need, we bring in another number 6 or maybe another defender. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, bro.
Can I ask a question? I know this isn't my channel, and I want to host. You know, I don't want to steal host from Halftime Hooks here, the celebrity. But I want to ask the question.
But I'm gonna steal it anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal it anyway. Yeah, because I seek attention like that. Do you guys think that we have trouble selling the Arsenal plan, or the Arsenal, the Arsenal phases, or whatever, the Arsenal dream, to players to bring them to the carpet?
No.
Do we have a recruiting problem?
No, not necessarily. No.
I just think the people that are doing our business don't do, or Edu, as it was there, wasn't doing enough. I don't think
Yeah.
there's a problem because you look at a Calafiori. I don't know about you guys. It was bolt from the blue for everybody. Like we saw what he did in the Euros and bang, we got him. But I think a lot of players in his age range in world football look at Arsenal as that team where it's like, rah, like, and look at what they've got. They're going places. So I don't think we've got a problem. It's just who's doing the negotiating is the issue.
And we also like to lowball people as well. We are that notorious club that just
It's not even
you know when you play career mode at FIFA when you lowball somebody and the guy walks away.
Yeah, and the guy gets up and walks out.
That's what we do, bro. You know.
No, I just like as much gas as we pour into this club and how much we're doing, like we should be able to bring these players in pretty easily. I mean, obviously we're able to get Declan Rice after we lowballed him. Like obviously Declan Rice's head was turned enough to where that move was going to happen regardless. I don't think City was ever really into it, but we were linked to Eze. We've been linked to this, that, and the other. I think we were linked to Kudus for a while. Like we were linked to all these Bear players, right? But we never really seemed to bring him in unless his name is Declan Rice. And and I'm going to be honest with you, and I know 65% of the fan base is with me. They didn't know who Calafiori was before the Euros. Like, let's not lie to ourselves.
Yeah,
here.
I didn't really.
And so it's one of those things where I have trouble believing that a lot of these like world-class players that are going to get us over the line really want to come here because we don't have a penchant for winning, guys. We really don't. We have a penchant for winning games. We don't have a penchant for winning games when it matters. That's the difference.
But you know what, TJ? Oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I think I don't think it's so much we have a problem attracting players. I feel like the problem lies with potentially how strict a criteria that Arteta has when it comes to actually the player themselves. So, for example, like Tony could have ticked so many different boxes, but I feel like there's one box that he didn't tick, and then Arteta and Eddie probably just went no. Like the same could be said for Eze, because I imagine that we would have spoken to Eze in some way, shape, or form because Eze, right? And I feel like Eze is 100% leaving Crystal Palace for Arsenal. There's no shadow of a doubt. And Arsenal could have definitely paid the money. But I feel like maybe he didn't tick all of this criteria that Edu and Arteta had. And this is why, me personally, I'm excited with the potentiality of a new sporting director coming. Because with a new sporting director coming, that's going to change how we kind of deal with bringing players in. Maybe the new sporting director has different ideas on criteria. Maybe the new sporting director isn't going to just say, okay, Arteta, we'll follow your way. He's going to be like, okay, no, I've done this before at XYZ and this works. So maybe let's follow this instead. And then Arteta might be like, okay, that makes sense. And that's why I spoke about it earlier, but the Real Sociedad sporting director, he's resigned. So he's finishing up his contract a year earlier. It was meant to be until June 2026. Now he's leaving in June 2025. And the news of him resigning, it's too close to Edu leaving for it to be coincidence for me. And this is the brother that's literally like responsible for not only bringing Isak to Sociedad from Dortmund, but then getting like 55 million euro profit on selling him to Newcastle. Like he's the guy that, got Moreno in. He's the guy that, helped Zubamendi get like from the youth into the main team. And then now the potentiality of like Zubamendi could become a realistic deal now. He's responsible for bringing Takefusa Kubo to Sociedad from Real Madrid. He's responsible for when Erdegaard came to Sociedad. Or no, he was responsible for that. So I'm looking at like someone like him being at a team like Sociedad, but don't get me wrong, like they're not a tiny team, but they're not really the biggest of teams either. And he's been able to operate, I would say, quite efficiently. I think that's for me personally, being able to do that at Sociedad, I would say that's quite that's praiseworthy. So I'm looking at, could he be coming to Arsenal? then he's Basque. Then there's that link up between Arteta and him already. And if it's that could even be Isak going from Newcastle to Arsenal. There's already that relationship there. So yeah, like, and
if it brings me Isak, I'm there. If it brings me Isak, I'm there. What I get worried about is exactly what Mo just said in the chat. We don't need an Arteta yes man. We need somebody that's going to challenge Arteta. We need somebody that's going to bring different ideas. And I don't think Edu really did that. So that's what I'm really afraid of, is that we're bringing in a bunch of jobs for the boys type. Like, I don't want to be a jobs for the boys type team. I want to be a win first team. And if one of the first people that we're linked with is Per Mertesacker as a sporting director, that's not a good sign.
But you know what? You see when you say that, that's what I feel like when people say that, they forget what the ethos of our club is. You know, like how Barcelona like to promote within and stuff like that. That's always been our ethos. If we decide to then, not to say hire and fire, but if we decide to start bringing in sporting directors that you would say, in theory, challenge the managers and challenge the owners and stuff like that, you're changing the whole ethos of our institution. That's the difference in what I feel when people say, oh yeah, bring this guy in that needs to get him over the line and challenges him there and there. That's not how Arsenal, like, we've got a few things that we have to tick on paper for if you can come to the club. One is style of play. One is that we make sure that we promote within. It's always been like that, and try and keep our own. And one is all, because you have to remember, it's got Per Mertesacker, you've got Jack Wilshere, that you got all these players that understand the culture and the value of our club. So we're not really one of those clubs that are going to start bringing in disruptors. I know people say that's probably what we need.
Yeah, but do we agree with that? It's my question then.
Yeah,
do we all agree with
because that? I don't agree with
that.
that.
Yeah, but that's the reason why David Dean left, isn't it? Because David Dean left because he wanted Usmanov to start coming in and putting in money and stuff like that. So it just depends on what you want as an ethos. That means you're changing your whole beliefs as a club. It's different. That's the point I'm making.
I'm just saying, like, they're promoting from within doesn't necessarily raise the standards. Like, you can have culture all day. Like, you can work at a small business all your life and be extremely happy and remain a small business, earn a good living, but never, what Arsenal is doing right now, but never really hit it big, never really get that profit, never really win that trophy. I'm using that as a metaphor. That is where I think we're at right now. I'm not saying we're a small business, but I'm saying that we're a very, very successful business that isn't going to be in the Fortune 500. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be hitting it big. Like, we have a good culture, and everybody's happy, great, but we're not winning anything. And eventually the stockholders, the fans, get tired of it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is where, like, okay, cool, we have a great culture, that's awesome, but where does that get you at the end of the day? Why don't you bring in a killer that can get us some good players and get us in and that can get us over the line?
It depends on what your expectations are in regards to saying that you want to bring a killer that will get us over the line. Because, like we've seen in other clubs, there is no guarantee until you make that right choice. Like, the right choice is only the right choice when it's been proven. Everyone can say tomorrow, oh, let's get Mourinho because he's a winner, and it ends up being not the right choice. Oh, let's get this one. But it's only a right choice when you've proven it. So if Arteta actually ends up winning something, then their process actually ends up being, oh, we stuck by the process and won. But he obviously has to do that to prove their point. But I don't know, like, when we say that somebody's got to come in and, like, someone like a killer, like, who do you say, like, what type of, like, structure are you imagining that would that you think would make it better at Arsenal?
Just somebody that could. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
Monchi,
I don't want to be the one talking.
Monchi, I won it from when he was at Sevilla. You got the guy that went United. Blanc went United.
Zorc from Dortmund. I would take one because that Dortmund brother. I would take him in a heart.
I don't remember when we had in. Who did we have? We had. What's his name that we had that fell out with them? What's his name? That was Mislintat. Remember? So we did do that. We did try to bring in a different version of these guys, and it didn't work.
But truth be told, he came in at a time when there was unrest above him. So, like, at that point, like, the Cronkies didn't have full ownership, and there was like a kind of like a internal battle at board level between, like, siding with Usmanov and siding with
the But that's what happens when you bring in these type of guys, though. You get unrest. You're basically saying unrest at the expense of winning.
But I feel like if Mislintat was to come in now when we have Kroenke's full ownership, it would be different. That's the kind of point that I'm making in it. So he came into the turmoil instead of
I don't think him being there caused
Yeah.
the whole thing. You know,
I was saying that. It was
and I feel like
that
this
Barca
club,
guy.
but this club needs some spicing up as well, bro. I feel like we have been stale for a while now. And yes, we come close, but if we bring someone in who has connections, who has you know what I'm saying, actual knowledge of what he's doing, instead of a former legend who needs to learn the job first, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we need that
That's the
little
name.
spice up, because we I don't think we have that much time anymore with this process, because people are now slowly not believing this whole process anymore, because this is year 5 and you still only won the FA Cup with the team that wasn't yours, and you made a whole new team and you still didn't win anything. You know what I'm
You
saying?
see, when sorry to interject, but you know when they say year 5, yeah, this is what I say to people. When they say it's year 5, it is year 5 of Arteta's process, but it's also only year 5 of his managerial career. So so in theory, what we would be doing, which we're forgetting, is basically, oh, it's not good enough because you haven't got experience, get rid of him. But why would you bring in someone that has no experience unless you want them to have the experience at your club? Because when there's no point him getting experience at our club, they're not winning anything, then going to another club and now he's got experience from the past 5 years at Arsenal. You hire a manager that's not experienced because you want him to develop and gain it all at your club. Otherwise, you'd go and get someone with the experience already.
Yeah, but you know what?
Of course, I don't feel. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think the problem is though with that is the pressure comes from, for example, Arne Slot's coming, and it's his first season. And I feel like people will be fine if Pep goes and wins the league with Man City. We'll be disappointed, but we'll go, do you know what? You get your summer. Let's attack him next season. Issue is if Slot goes and wins it with Liverpool in his first season, suddenly it's like you're gonna see people turn against him. But
Slot's allowed to be great. Like every time someone is great, people always think, oh, that means that someone else, like your Slot might come in. He may well be a better manager than Arteta. That's allowed to happen. Like you can be better.
But you know how certain parts of the fan base are gonna be though. It's like
listen, we all want Arteta to win the league, innit? But some people I feel when they beat him with a stick that you can't, like when they say year 5, of course it's year 5, but it's only year 5 of his managerial career, period. It's not just year 5 for Arsenal.
Yeah, but why should we be his learning?
Because they chose to hire him. That's what I'm saying. They chose to hire a manager. I understand
it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. Because
we
are Arsenal Football Club. We should win trophies at least one every 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If not a league, if not an FA Cup. But at this moment in time, just because this guy is learning on the job, we are sacrificing a lot. And at this moment in time, even guys like Hooks, because Hooks was the guys that actually believed a lot in this process, but even he is doubting it really much right now. And people are just getting tired because, yes, we can believe in this another few years, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that fans will turn, and fans are turning right now. And that's why
but they
us
would turn
right
anyway.
now,
They would turn anyway on whoever is in that's not delivering. They will turn regardless.
And that goes just back to my point, because I said I want someone new from the outside, someone who can spice up the place. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we just need that one more push in this team to actually win majors instead of cups and other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if we can bring in someone like that has the experience and has, for example, that Spanish guy, if he has Spanish connections and brings in actual few Spanish players that we could use, and he has good connections with Arteta as well, that could be the final push for this team to actually go and win majors. And then we won't be doubting this whole project anymore. Because people like me who are doubting this project, we do not want to doubt this whole project anymore by actually winning something. You know what I'm saying? And that's why someone from the outside, I feel like, could give him that final push instead of a yes man who just answers to his demands, because that's not what we want right now.
And how long do you give that? Oh, sorry, go on, Hooks.
Now I was going to say, and you know what? Yeah, just to quickly go back to the point you made about the culture of Arsenal. Like, we all know the culture of Arsenal. We've all supported Arsenal for a very long time, and I like one of the things that I'm like to a degree proud of is that kind of culture and heritage we have of like local hybrid, trying to bring through people in the area, trying to promote youth, like doing things the right way. All these things I'm proud of in it. But I feel like one thing that people at the club and a lot of fans confuses, just because you played for the club doesn't mean that you embody the culture. Because I don't care what anybody says. Like for me, Per Mertesacker, when I think of Arsenal, I don't think of Per Mertesacker. Like to me, Per Mertesacker is not Arsenal, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So when it comes to like thinking about, let's push Per Mertesacker because he's Arsenal, I don't agree with that. Because to me, like Per Mertesacker was brought into Arsenal at a time when I would say Arsenal kind of fell away from itself. Like didn't really have it.
Middling compared to the history that came before him, right? Like it was like, don't get me wrong, I didn't hate Per Mertesacker at when he was playing for the club, but he was nothing special. You know what I mean? And that's and I agree. Hooks nailed it right on the head. Like this when you think of Per Mertesacker in terms of like people that have played for the club, you're not, oh my God, overwhelmed by the mention of his name, right? Like so why put him at the reins when there's so many people like outside there are candidates out there that could represent this club very, very well. Like there are plenty of there, and I understand the culture of wanting to bring in players, but like at the, you know, bring in people and bring up people through the ranks. And that's historically what the Cronkies have done to build a good culture and to build talent through the ranks. They do that with all of their different franchises, even the ones here in the States, they do that. And they ended up winning championships with the Avalanche, the Nuggets, the Mammoths, so on and so forth.
Yeah, they win everything over there.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work in the Premier League, right? It's different. It's different. And the quality in our youth ranks alone is not good enough to get us over the line. We need somebody to go out there and get us that killer, that one missing piece, which last season I believe was the 9. This season we have probably 2, 3, or even 4 positions where we need that. You know, that's what's so frustrating about this. That's what's so frustrating.
Just create a winning culture. That's what we want.
Right. Well,
at the end of the day, we want a winning culture. And our culture, like I said, is stale. We haven't won in a while. We just need to spice it up, bring a new, you know, I've had a lot of Indian. Let me try Jamaican right now. You know what I'm saying? I just want some new food. That's what we need right now.
That was Jamaican. You gotta try it again, bro.
So go on, Matt. Go on, Matt. You want to say for a minute?
No. I was just gonna touch on, you know, because we were talking about the players before and this and that, and I was just gonna say we need to remember when we want to sign players, it depends on the situation in their club, who they've sold and whatever. Like we would have loved to have got Eze, but Elise was always the one that was gonna go. They would never sell both in one season. Never gonna happen.
Yep.
So obviously that's
why I said that Isse was never really on the table.
Yeah. So Mohamed Kudus, I think a lot of clubs looked at him, but were like, let's just see, because no disrespect to West Ham, they're like, you perform well there, then you get your move. I think a lot of clubs were like, we'll just wait a bit to see. And then obviously he hit the ground running. And then obviously then the clubs were like, oh, right, all right, cool, he's good. His price has gone up now. So in the summer, I won't be surprised if he moves on from West Ham. So sometimes it's all in terms of the timing, but exactly what you lot say about we need something new. I'm tired of, I know what you're saying just about Arsenal doing within like Barca, but I'm tired of that, man. I remember back in the day, it was, they said David Dean, this guy, Ken Fryer and Peter Hillwood, and everything looked professional, but all these other clubs are doing it up, and we're just like sitting there, you know what I mean? With Highbury, all right, it's historical, but we had to move with the times, and I feel like now's the time. Go get that sporting director, whoever it's going to be, but I want one where he's not going to just say yes to Arteta, and he's going to be like, listen, I know you want him, but there's this man. You know, like you look at Liverpool, how they're doing it with Michael Edwards and thingy before. You're like, oh, who's this guy that signed? They went and signed players, and sometimes you've got to buy a player that they know is going to do something and turn them into something. It doesn't have to be ready-made. And we thought we were going to get that Mislin tap, but then there was the issues with him and was it Emery at the time, right? So that's the type of thing. But yeah, there's not many sporting directors out there, man. But like the guy mentioned, Campos was the main one everyone spoke about. Campos was the one everyone was like, if you want a direct, because you want one that has a network, someone that can call up Jorge Mendes. You know what I mean? Jorge Mendes, yo, I want my man, yeah? And then he brings him. Yeah, as we can laugh at Chelsea as much as we want, but they've got the one, the speed down thing,
Yeah. What was the guy's name again that coached everyone? The guy from Chelsea. I forgot his name, bro. Something Shields. Joe Shields. Yes, that guy, bro. That guy knows everyone, bro.
Everyone. So you don't have a chance. So even like, for example, you want the one where it's like, I've made the call, 10 clubs can go after. Now I've already spoken to Matt, like, it's cool, we're good. Yeah. And that's what we need. And that will help us move. But again, Jus D's got a point. Arteta's 5 years in, but I think he needs a bit of help. I think he's trying to do too much. He needs someone above him that can say, Mikel, I hear it. I've got you. What do you need? All right, cool. Let me go and look. And then sort it out that way. I think Edu,
just to give an example after you're done, Matt.
No, I was going to say quickly. That's what Edu, for me, I know, don't like you, like, I was happy Edu went. I genuinely was. Because I felt like, what was it he said before we signed Sterling? Will not be excited or something.
You will not be at the end. You will not be disappointed. Something along that line.
Disappointed. I was at work whacking my head, bro. I was saying, where is my winger? Where is my?
Bro, you're lucky.
He was disappointed.
I thought you were going to say something else there, bro.
I pulled the emergency stream thing, bro. Like, I was pissed. I can't believe this is where we're going. Bargain binning again. Crazy.
Yeah,
and then they tried to big up the deal as well. God, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, we saved the window, guys, with Sterling.
But again,
sorry to go
on. That's another thing with us. We never have a complete window. Like we always do. We start up well, and we get so gassed. And I think, okay, striker, winger, or one or two or both. And then we bring me Sterling. I'm like, bro,
always missing pieces.
Always a missing piece. Like,
that's what I like about sometimes, because you have to remember, like, I'm an Arteta and I believe in this process and stuff like that. Like, I'm strongly in favor of it. But sometimes when I'm speaking to other like reasonable fans, it makes it, because this is the conversations that I'm assuming that they're having in the boardroom. Stuff like this. It should be this level of conversation.
I think you give them too much credit.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah. I got a lot of faith. You have to remember, I even the first time I was doubting the process was a couple seasons ago, and what actually changed my mind. I was at the game, and where I sit behind it, I'm literally right behind the subs bench, like when I get the game and stuff like that. And I saw how Arteta was. That's the first times I'd seen Arteta, like, and I realized this is at Norwich. We won 1-0, Norwich at home. It was the Pepe and Aubameyang kind of scuffle kind of goal, that goal. And it was I realized then, okay, he believes in everything, that same thing that we're thinking that he should be doing, he believes it as well. And he also is the person that knows that he was with Pep for a long time. He knows what it takes and how serious you have to be to get over this line. He knows we're not good enough right now. He knows things have to change. He knows all the things that we're thinking about. I can almost guarantee that he also knows them. And these guys are having these same convos. If I started losing faith, would be when I think they don't believe that they know that they haven't got the answers. I mean, you might not see the answers on the pitch every time, but I still believe that they know that they've got to do more. And that's all I can really think. That's what you have. That's what faith is. I believe that you believe it.
But that's why we cannot afford another yes man to Arteta, because we need a different mind from a different point of view. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And that goes back to my example that I wanted to give after what Matt said. I'm going to give the Liverpool example, because Liverpool are like a similar club in the sense of they do not spend that crazy money like we do, because we do not spend crazy money like the Chelseas of the world and the cities of the world. You know what I'm saying? So, but they have someone like Michael Edwards that can complement that sort of culture, because that guy has the knowledge of bringing who to bring in and complement someone like Brendan Rodgers at the time, and then Klopp before he left. So we need someone like that who can complement Mikel Arteta, because Mikel Arteta doesn't have to do that much thinking and that much looking anymore. Because when you have someone from the outside who has a different POV at football, then he can say, hey, Mikel, you don't need Zubamendi, you actually need Isak, and let me go out and get Isak for you, for example. You know what I'm saying? So we need that kind of mind to complement what Arteta is doing if we really want to make this project succeed. You know, like for example, for you, because you actually believe in this project, if we actually want this project to succeed, we need to do something like this. We need to go out there and dare to do something like this, and not fall back into our comfort zone.
Hey,
In that,
careful now.
oh,
Careful now.
this is the this is the Arsenal way. I do not believe in that whole Arsenal way anymore, because back in the day that was winning stuff. Now it's just a saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I
that's how I
understand.
see
Yeah,
it.
I understand. I understand that. I feel like it's just it's more about, like I say, the time frame that you give. Because obviously, a lot of people, they like to say, if we get rid of Arteta, or we get rid of a few different pieces, I always ask them, like, how long would you then give if you say that we're right at the top and we're nearby, we need someone to get us over the line. It means you think we're nearby.
Yes,
So
of course. Yeah.
how long do you give these new people before you say that it's not long enough? Because a new people, are you saying you're going to give them 3 years, which is a new process, or are you saying you need to come in and win straight away because we're so close? It depends on
No,
how.
if because this team is a few players away from actually go out there and win the majors, in my opinion. And that includes going to Champions League semifinals, finals. You know what I'm saying? I can see this team actually doing that, and we're just missing a few pieces. And like I said, if we bring in footballing people that actually can look at this team and say, "Hey, I can see where you're walking against the wall," because clearly this team is walking against the wall. We cannot go further. We cannot improve. We do not have that. How should I say that spice in this team anymore? But when you bring in someone else who can actually have, like I said before, another POV at this team, he can actually give his ideas to Arteta, so they can actually complete this team. Because, like you said, we never have a complete transfer window, and most of the time we don't also have a complete team. And
Yeah.
maybe someone from the outside can actually help us get that complete team.
Right.
Yeah,
and
no, I
and,
hear
and I'm
you.
with and I'm with TK too. Like the sporting director, I think, would be a key role. And I'm gonna keep beating on this drum about how we need somebody that can challenge Arteta and give new ideas, because I think I think Arteta's ideas are starting to get stale. I think that, and I think that the fan base knows that as well. So just somebody to come in and give more ideas. And somebody in the chat said, don't be afraid to change. See Klopp going over to Slot and all that stuff. I think that Liverpool have not yet begun to see the challenges that they're going to meet this season. They will see challenges.
I
They
agree.
will
I
fall
agree.
off.
Yeah.
They will, and I'm not saying it's going to be soon. I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to be 2 months from now, but they will run into their challenges that Klopp introduces, because he is changing the way that they play, that they play football. He came into a team with winners. It's a completely different scenario. But, with any change, you will see setbacks, and, those setbacks it's a gamble, right? Anytime you change a position, you take a gamble, you are more than likely going to see setbacks before you see rewards. Like, that's just the way it is. So we can't be afraid to make those changes if our ambitions are there. Like I just don't like with our windows. I don't see that ambition. So we need a sporting director that shows that ambition.
I understand that. Yeah, that's
Like, and I don't have names for you. Don't get me wrong. I don't have names for you. I'm just saying that it's underwhelming, some of the teams that we're throwing around, some of the names that we're throwing around, given their CV. Like, we really just need somebody that can challenge the norm and take us to that next level.
That's why I never understood people laughing at Arne Slot, because this guy was actually a winner before he joined Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's not like this guy was a scrub and just leaving his academy. No, bro. This guy went to AZ Alkmaar, won a cup, which is a huge deal in this country. And then you go to Feyenoord, the third biggest club in the. It's basically if you go to Arsenal and win a league after 20 years. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did at Feyenoord, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then he went to Liverpool. This guy said, I'm a huge fan of Arsenal. I'm a huge fan of Manchester City. I study them very, very well. I know Arteta really, really well. This guy actually studied the league also, and the opponents before he joined Liverpool as well. So this guy, when he plays against teams in the Premier League, actually knows what he's doing. That's why in the second halves of his games, when the first half looked poor, in the second half they always ball out and manage to win games this season. You know what I'm saying? So and that's not only because his team has winners, because let's be real, guys, we finished above these guys 2 years back to back. It's not like they've been much better than us as a team. You know what I'm saying? They just won one league title 4 or 5 years ago. But at this moment in time, they were not actually better than us because we, like I said, finished 2 years above them. But they
Yeah, they
complemented
were
their
still
team.
winning trophies though, TK.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's
Don't
true.
forget that. They were still winning.
That's
They were
true.
still winning trophies. They were still competing for Champions Leagues. Obviously
That's true.
not in that
That's
one
true.
season where they finished 5th and needed to go into the Europa League.
But are you guys
they
on the
were still
train where it has
they were
to
still
be?
transferring.
Are
They
you
were still
on the
challenging.
train that it has? Sorry, bro. Are you guys on the train that
Go
it
ahead.
has to be Champions League and Premier Leagues? Are you on that train, or are you on the train of it doesn't really matter what cups we're in?
I'm
You're on
so I'll answer that first. I just want. I'm starving. I'm not gonna lie. I'm starving. I would take a Carabao Cup in top 4. Like at this point, and for me to have him hold on to the job, like it would actually make me tolerate it, right? But right now I'm Arteta out because I don't see the prospect of that happening. I don't see that happening. I see
I
us
don't care
dropping
about
out.
the Carabao Cup at all. Like,
Well,
I'll be
no.
honest.
Well, here's the thing: is like where are we in the position to be dismissing cups?
No, we're not.
When did we
We're
become that team?
Yeah, we're
You
not.
just said
but-
you didn't care about
yeah.
it.
No. Because the reason why I say that is because I believe in the process that he's going to get I feel like if we focus on Carabao Cups or FA Cups, we're not going to. I feel like we're not in a position to challenge for both. I don't feel like we're in that position.
Right. And I'm not going to rake anybody over the coals for being Arteta in. You want to support the club, you want to support it, that's cool. I'm not going to berate anybody for their opinion, but what I'm going to do is challenge it. So how long are you going to give it, and how long do you think these players are going to give it? Because if we finish without a trophy this season, the rumors are going to start to fly. The worm is going to start to turn.
Yeah, but even if we win a Carabao Cup, they will say it's not a Premier League or a Champions League. That's what they will say. That will be the narrative. They'll say 5 years and all you've won is an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. That's what the new narrative will be.
That's what I will say.
That's what it will
true.
be.
But you know what's funny? It's true. But
look at Ten Hag. Ten
Hag
just won 2 in 2 years. And because of his league position, everyone says it's not good enough because of the stature of Man United. That's what the narrative will be.
Yeah, but that's a completely different scenario. I mean, you got to look at the product on the pitch as well. Like that was don't get me wrong. Like I think Arteta's in his Ten Hag era right now because he's gaslighting us into thinking that we're putting in okay performances.
Man United would swap the position that they're in for Arsenal position right now, wouldn't they?
100%. I'm just saying that the product on the field and the crap that he's dealing out at these press conferences sounds like Ten Hag. Like you can't convince me that.
What I'm saying is he won trophies though.
Yeah, but come on, man. He was shit.
A League Cup and top 4. He
shithoused his way to that freaking FA Cup, bro. Like
yeah, but a League Cup and top 4 is underachieving for where we are.
They literally had to drag Ten Hag into a room before that FA Cup final and say, you need to change up the way that you are going to play against Pep Guardiola. They had to sit him down and say, you need to approach this differently. I don't see anybody at Arsenal Football Club doing that to Arteta.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I'm saying that he needs to be challenged.
But League Cup and League Cup and a Carabao Cup and top 4, that's an underachievement for Arsenal right now, man.
Of course.
Oh no, I agree. I agree with you. But for me to continue to give this process rope, I need to see some silverware. I need to see some armpits.
And not only TJ, but also the players. The reason why fans really want the cups as well is so these players finally have the taste of winning something and actually learn
exactly TK exactly
to create that winning mentality as well, to actually know how it is to go over the line in a tough competition, because let's not act like
if you haven't experienced winning, if you haven't tasted that champagne, if you're not wearing the goggles and spraying champagne everywhere, how are you supposed to know what that feels like?
And so also it gives these players hope that there is more to come in the future if you win something right now, because we have now 4 years and we do 4 years now, 4.5 years we haven't won apart from that FA Cup, and these players haven't had the taste of winning. At some point, players like Saliba, players like maybe not Saka because he is one of our own, but players like Saliba, maybe players like Odegaard in the future will say,
Gabriel,
why would I stay here if I can go to, for example, Real Madrid, Saliba, for example, and maybe someone else, Barcelona wants them, and they go to Barcelona at the end. These players want to win, and we can clearly see that they want to win, even if it's a dry-ass Carabao Cup. And I agree with you, bro. If we get a Carabao Cup and it's done, I am not agreeing with that. That is not a successful season. That is a failure of a season. But I'd rather sing double, double, double than sing nothing at all.
I
you know what I'm
understand.
saying?
Yeah, I understand.
That's how I want to move.
You know what?
Fair
though?
silence.
I feel like with the cup as well. I feel like that would be our Chelsea moment under Mourinho. That would be like, because you remember when Mourinho he celebrated that cup, and I remember at the time I was like, bro, it's just, I think it was Carling Cup at the time. I said, why are you celebrating that? But it breeds confidence from them because you win that cup, then suddenly FA Cup you're doing your thing. Because remember we had the season we gave up Europa, was it Sporting at home, and I remember saying to myself, you better win that league. You're sacrificing now, and then you've lost both. So I feel like you just got to go and attack all. Because I genuinely believe with players fit, if we go and attack all, we're winning a trophy. Like we've just been, I know I don't like to use injuries as an excuse, but as I said, it's been stop-start in it this season in terms of injuries. Like Saka's been out, then Odegaard's been out, and it's very frustrating. Saliba, 10 men, all of this crap. So I feel like we can win a trophy. And listen, I will celebrate a Carabao because I feel like then you'll see the players think, do you know what? Like, we got this. And then because imagine you win a Carabao, finish second in the league, Champions League semi-final, and let's say lost in the FA Cup final. I will give Arteta one more. I'd go, do you know what? You get one more from me. And I think the players as well will go, do you know what? One more season, let's get bigger now. Because we just want to see, all we ask for is progress. Like, let's say we don't win the league, but we got to a Champions League semi-final and an FA Cup final. I'd be so annoyed, but I'd be like, all right, you went one up again. And that's what you've got to do sometimes. City kept getting close to winning Champions League, if you remember. Quarter-final, Tottenham knock them out. This one knock them out. Then they get to the semis, out again. And they eventually got to the final, lost one, then they won one. It takes time, but you've got to keep the squad together and show that you're progressing to keep certain players. Because there's some that don't have loyalty to us. Let's remember that. Saliba, from Real Madrid come, he's gone. Yeah, and I'm not doing streams again for a while because that will crush me. Yeah, but like players like Saka, listen, we've got another 2-3 years, but if we don't win, then it's a big issue.
They're gone.
You know what I mean? So let's just get. Listen, we want to be at Wembley, guys. Come on, us five.
No, I'm with you in that point. That's why I get funny when people dismiss cups, and even we're the only country that dismisses like charity shields and club world cups and all these things. You can only get into the charity shield if you're winning. You can only get into the club world cup if you're winning the big title. We're the only. That's why when Klopp and Pep come here, Pep wants to win everything. He doesn't care if it's a charity shield. He doesn't care if it's the League Cup. He wants to win it all. And I feel like that changed the more what it is. We need us as well. I feel like we need to start putting more value on trophies. That's it. That's just what we've just got to do as a whole.
Process is not only in the league table. It's also in your silverware closet. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, bring everything you can. That's how I see it.
I think you see what, it's you, man, that dismissed the community shield, did it? Can you get me? I tell
not
man,
me, not me.
You know, I tell man,
I still don't care about the community shield, bro.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
But you said if he wins a cup double, you sack him.
No,
not you. Hook said if he wins the FA Cup and League Cup this year, he would still sack him. FA Cup and League Cup, both of them.
Hey. We only talk about all that. But look, we're gonna be wrapping up soon. Yeah, like I just want to bring it to a close. Yeah, like we've been speaking, I guess, a lot about, I guess, what it would be nice to achieve, what we would like to see, that kind of tone. So I guess each of you, just like real quickly, like, what do you think we can actually achieve? So like, not whether you think it will happen or not. What do you think is like, I guess, okay, cool. So we're quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Yeah. We're probably, I think it's safe to say, going to qualify for the next round of the Champions League, regardless of it's top 8 or top 24. We're currently 4th in the Premier League, and we haven't even kicked the ball in the FA Cup yet. So regarding the fact that we are still in everything, what do you think we can achieve? I mean,
Premier League. I think we can do it. I think we can do the Premier League, man. I sound crazy, but when I was looking, I don't know about you, but I look at fixtures, right? I look at all these away games we played, and as Arsenal fans, we've been through it. Feb to May, when we got that Anfield away, Old Trafford, Etihad in March, Spurs away, like, it's tough. So if we can, I'll keep saying, if we can get to Jan and we're like 5, like if we can get to 5 by Jan, if I'm Arteta, I'll go into that boardroom and say, listen, get me a 9 now. Now let's amp it up. Bang.
Mhm.
So, like, because do you remember when we started banging in the goals when we come back from Dubai, everyone was shook. Everyone was like, what? Like, rah! Like, and that's what we need. And I feel like we can do this league, man, because I don't think Liverpool have hit their blip yet. And what we need to do is capitalize when they do. Because don't forget, I think it's April 28th we've got them, yeah? I need it wrapped up by then. Don't take me to Anfield where we need to win. No. Like, I need to know by then.
But our last 10 games are quite like, they look on paper, they look like a little bit like our running before was quite tricky. Their running this time is just Anfield in the last few. So
this is
hopefully we can get, if we're in touching distance over there, then we can maybe start believing a bit more towards there. But we need to be the Christmas period is key. This Christmas period this year.
We need to win out essentially. Like we need to win out for me to literally. We need to win out through the rest of the year for me to even entertain like a league. Yeah. Like I'm not buying any stocks in the league anymore. I think to answer Hook's question, I mean realistically, I think we could do a cup double. We should win the FA Cup. We should win the Carabao Cup. At this point we are going to get to the semifinal. If we lose to Crystal Palace, it's absolutely inexcusable.
Oh, yeah.
And with the favorable draws, we're Arsenal Football Club. We never get favorable draws like this. So if we throw this away, that's inexcusable in my opinion. So Carabao Cup minimum, but I think we could do a cup double. I think the league and the Champions League are done. I just don't think we have the quality yet. So I'm expecting a cup double.
And I agree with TJ. For me, it's also a cup double this season. I don't think we can win the league because I feel like City are gonna break the bank in January and they're gonna make that comeback like they always do. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with Matt. Unless we go out in January and be serious and bring in a player or two, including a striker, I don't see us getting. I don't see us winning the league if we don't do that. So for me, like I said, it's a cup double. And if we go out in January and bring players, then the league is still possible. That's how I see it.
What about you, D?
I feel like we're still in everything, man. I feel like it's like it's not as simple as being out of it. Like the facts are, we have had seriously hard fixtures, even though we've still lost the games that you supposedly should win. But we've had hard, like all the hard, tough away games. We've gone past them, with the exception of Anfield. And the games we did drop points, we did have 10 men. I know people say you should still win. I understand it. I do get it. But these are the facts. So I still feel like Liverpool haven't had their blip yet. I still feel like a couple of draws and a couple of wins either way, all of a sudden you're 5 or so points behind and it gets a bit more nervy. So I feel like we're obviously right now, we're nowhere near where we need to be. But I still feel, I know how these games work. I've seen teams come from 6th and stuff like that to win leagues and stuff like that. So I know like what it really means. So we're not out of it yet, but we're not favourites.
Also, as well, we're chasing now. Like I said the last time, because you know what went wrong in that title race? We kept playing before City. That was good for us, and then it switched. I don't know if you lot remember where City 3 games row played before us, and I think them wins, because you could see Arsenal were like, all right, cool, like pressure, more pressure now. So I feel like we'll be better. Like if we're like second, 5 points behind. Listen, I'm gonna be unbearable if we win this. Oh my gosh, trust me, people. Listen.
Yeah, my streaming will be
bro.
You'll see me. You'll see a whole different. You'll see a whole different character.
I will go on my Arteta apology tour, like I've been promising for years and years. You bring. I will go on tour. I will have all the mics. I'll have this mic. It'll be like an everyday press conference of me apologizing.
And I will do the same.
2 hours stream.
I will do the same as TJ, but not only will I do that, I will also buy a Harvard shirt and put it the other way around with the name here.
Make sure you clip all these hooks. You know, make sure you clip. I want to make sure. I want to make sure everyone sticks to their word.
I said this before. If we win the league, I will buy a Harvard shirt. That's what I said.
What will hooks do?
Wait, you think if Arsenal win the league, I'm going to be streaming, blood? I'm
flying out to meet up with Hooks out in London, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm going to be in them, bro. I'm going to be in all them Arsenal pubs. I'm going to be drinking outside the stadium, bro. Like, I'm going to be with the gala. I won't lie to you. So
you're by yourself in that one, innit?
Maybe we do the stream the next morning and I'll be on the stream all like red eye and like, but you know, if we win, because obviously like I've experienced us winning things, but I haven't experienced us winning a major when I say major, I mean like the Prem Champions
When the chips
League.
are down.
I've never seen us win the Champions League, but I've never seen us win a major when I've been of an age to like properly celebrate it, if that makes sense. Like when we won the Premier League, I was in secondary school, so like man couldn't just go out and you get me drink up the juice and all them things there, because you get me even though I was big, like you get me, my bedrooms and they weren't all my size with facial hair at that time in it, so couldn't really run the show. But now as an adult, what, bro? I'm going mad, bro. Like, bro, I'm like literally everybody in my phone book, they're getting the one text, yeah, all getting the same text, yeah. What are you saying? That's all they're getting, bro. Anybody that doesn't respond misses out, bro. Get me? Do you know them way there? You know them way there. But look, I guess just to answer my own question, yeah, I expect everything safe. So, by the way, people, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. That was I think it was a very good therapy session. You know, yeah, and I'm obviously gonna be running this the show same time. Maybe different people, maybe the same people every Wednesday, 9:45, probably the slot. So if you want some Arsenal therapy, here's the place to be. Obviously, we actually got at some point we got a redirect from Omar, BYT, Barca fan. He was doing Barca therapy. So hey, maybe at these times, all type of teams will be able to get to see some therapy. Maybe Wednesday is the therapy day for people, innit? But I'm now gonna send y'all over to potentially have some more therapy, because Ash, you get me, Spurs Kings TV, he's running up his show. So you get me, that's bro. Go and show him some love when you get in there.
Big up Ash.
Like his video, all of them things there, and make sure you're laughing at him because he supports Spurs and Spurs are dead in it. So, by the way, people, again, the likes have been, I wouldn't say shocking, yeah, but I'm quite disappointed at the amount of likes that we got throughout the stream in it. So it's cool because people on playback are gonna fix that. But when you leave, just make sure you like the video before you go in it. Make sure you're subscribing not only to the village hidden in the north, but you're also subscribing to all the people on the panel, because their channels are in the title, their channels are in the description, and their channels are pinned. You get me? And yeah, man, catch you next time. Blessings.